Hey everybody, I'm Sierra,
And I'm Ben.
and welcome back to another episode of The Unsolved Couple, where every week Ben and I recap one of your original gateway drugs into true crime.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
as you're eating chocolate.
Don't judge me. It's not the New Year.
Judge. I'm Judge Judy over here.
Don't judge me.
It's a huge chocolate bar you got going on there.
It's all I got left from my stocking, okay? So, and what do I like having?
Snacks.
Snacks during this. If I am going to sit still,
And talk about true crime.
talk about true crime, I need snacks. And you are very picky about what snacks I can have. And
Yes.
this chocolate bar is quiet. I even took it out of its wrapper. And it's the last I have because I ate my entire bag of peppermint.
You ate that
It's all
entire...
gone. And don't judge me, all right?
No one had a single one of those except for you.
I know.
You ate the entirety of the bag.
Yeah, to myself. You're welcome. And I don't feel bad about it. Not one little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I had those chocolate peppermint bells.
Hershey bells, yeah.
They're so good.
All right. Well, we are talking about what, Benjamin? Season 4, episode 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we've got some fun stories for you.
You have the better stories.
Mm-hmm.
I got the sad stories.
Do you have 2 or 1?
I had 2.
Okay.
And the last one's terrible. Awful. I mean, they're both awful. They're both terrible. They're murder stories. So that's what I got. Sierra gets the fun stories.
Fun is yeah.
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Okay.
Are you going to save the amnesia one for last?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Let's end with the amnesia one.
Okay.
I don't want to end with my grandma killed story. It's terrible.
It is a terrible story.
And I just,
Okay, so then you want me to start with the shroud?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think I got to start if you're ending.
Yes. You, me.
Yep, that's how
Okay.
it works.
All right. Okay, well, before...
Probably should have figured this out before.
I know, sorry. You guys are all just in on the production meeting that just took place. So you're all part of the Unsolved Couple production team now. Okay, before we dive in, don't forget to follow the show wherever you guys are listening. And if you enjoy what we're doing, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review. As I repeat myself every single week, it helps more than you guys know. It puts us in front of the algorithm so that like-minded individuals can help find our podcast. And also it makes me super happy. And it makes Ben smile, which is not an easy thing to do nowadays. Or if ever.
Say like I'm this miserable man.
I don't think you're miserable at all. I just think that you're very mild-mannered.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
And, if you guys would like to support the show more, there is a link down below, a Buy Me a Coffee link that helps a ton. We have some big changes coming in 2026, including potentially, my plan is ad-free on Patreon, ad-free subscription on Apple, streaming, brand new tech and microphone equipment, and a merch drop. We got big plans in 2026. So, okie dokie, Benjamin.
Okay.
Take it away.
Guess I'm starting.
You are.
All right. This is the story of Joe Maloney. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Post Maloney?
Nope. Joe Maloney, he was married to June Fisk Maloney. This happened in Rochester, New York in 1967. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We get told about they were married. They had some kids together. But Joe was abusive. And I love how they tell it. He says, not physically, but yet then the friend comes on and says he would yell and scream and sometimes grab her and shake her. I'm like, dude, that is physically abusive.
Yeah.
He says it wasn't physically abusive.
Yeah, but we're going to find out that it's the same guy that in my personal opinion, could be charged with an accessory to murder.
So their marriage isn't working, and June is very brave because in the 60s, I'm sure this wasn't easy. She left Joe and said, "No, I'm not dealing with this. I am not going to deal with
Do
it."
you know that in domestic disputes, the woman is the greatest at risk in her relationship with a man when she leaves him?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I 100%
Still
believe
to
that.
this day.
So obviously they have kids. They had two children, and um, they're trying to figure out visits. So at that time, June was saying, "You can visit at any time," right? They were, and I come to find out they were separated. They hadn't divorced yet. Okay, and that was in March of 1967 when they separate. Okay, so uh, we get told. Sorry, I'm looking at my thing. So this happens. Not a lot of time passes, and we get introduced to the friend Neil Dunkelberg. Yeah,
He's a Dunkelberry, in my opinion.
he's an amateur chemist, which I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What is an amateur chemist?
Someone who wasn't able to actually make it in school as a real chemist. I don't know.
What do like, who's just a chemist in a lab? Where? Like what's going on there? What job is that?
I'm sure there's lots of jobs like that
I'm sure
in
there is.
pharmaceutical and different
There you
things
go.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. All right. But he's not that. He's just an amateur one. He has a chemistry lab in his basement of sorts, it looks
Hmm.
like. So he tells us, Joe comes by and says, "Hey, man, I had a question for you. I got this dog that's bothering me. He keeps tipping over my trash cans and stuff. And I want to take out this dog secretly."
Full stop right there.
Yeah,
If
we're
your
going to
friend comes to you with that
I know.
question,
We're getting into
okay.
that. Okay. I'm not going to just let this slide. I promise. He says, "I want to poison the dog, but I need to do it discreetly because the dog belongs to a police officer." So he takes him to his chemistry lab
Mhm.
and starts telling him about,
This guy walks him through how to do it and acts as if
he gives him information.
I'm
And
doing my buddy a favor and
here's
helping
my,
him murder an
an
animal.
animal.
And he
And
doesn't seem to be bothered by that
as you
question.
guys are going to, as you've probably already put together, this is going to lead to worse things than killing an animal. But still, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I want to take out this animal," I'd turn to him and say, "Hey, dude, you're kind of a monster. No."
Yeah,
What
what kind of
person wants
question
to
is
kill
that?
an innocent animal for no reason?
Yeah.
Because he tipped over your trash cans? And then you want to be a douche about it and do it secretly because you're afraid of getting in trouble? Wow.
Well, that
Like,
was the other thing.
it
He
just
wasn't even
shows you.
asking him like, and this still, I'm not saying that this makes anyone better or worse. He wasn't saying, "Can you give me some chemicals? I don't want the dog to suffer, but I want to get rid of it." He didn't seem to care. Like this man could care less about anything other than trying to get some information. And again, his buddy is not alarmed or bothered by this question.
Well, he says he was. So he
Yeah,
showed,
I'm after the fact. He says
he
he
says
acts.
that he was interested in this clear, odorless, tasteless chemical that could kill. I don't know what it is.
You never were able to find out what it was.
I didn't even look. At the end of the day, it's just a chemical that kills someone, and that's terrible. I,
Okay.
I guess. Is it important to know? I don't
Yeah,
think
I would
so.
like to know.
But so Neil, the friend, is like, "Hey, man," after he leaves, he's suspicious. He's like, "What? Why was he asking all these
He
questions?"
mulls over that question later and is like,
Yeah.
huh.
So he locks up his lab and tells his family, "Do not let Joe inside. Absolutely. Don't let
And again,
Joe.
he's
This is,
saying this post
oh,
what
100%."
happens next. So
But
I don't even know if I believe this story.
Neil is on vacation. And unfortunately, he even tells us it didn't work. I took precautions, but Joe somehow convinced Neil's younger sister to let him into the lab.
Yeah, because his lab is in the basement of his mother's house. So this kind of tells you what kind of guy this is. And also,
I
if he was really that concerned about it, why wouldn't he just get rid of the chemical?
because he's an amateur chemist. He has things to test. All right. He's about to have a breakthrough and
Eureka.
become a real chemist.
I'm a real boy.
Exactly. So, anyways, Joe says he needed that stuff to help sterilize some stuff, but we're going to come to find out that wasn't true. He takes some of this odorless, clear, lethal liquid. May 27th, 1967. So it's only been pretty much 2 months since they've been separated. They're having a birthday party for their son. It's his 5th birthday party. June comes by. Joe makes her a drink and says, "Oh, here you go." She hangs out for a couple hours.
Hmm.
And for their son, they put on a good show, whatever. Joe's trying to be nice, makes her this drink, and then she goes home. The next day, guess what happens?
She's
June
sick.
gets sick.
Yeah.
And her friend, Wanda, is even there. She tells us, like, she saw her after the party.
Hmm.
She didn't seem right. She wasn't acting right.
Yeah,
She
she thought
asked,
she was
she
intoxicated,
was
like
like, "How many
heavily.
drinks
Yeah.
did you have?" She goes, "I only had 2 drinks over the course of 2 hours." So, whatever. So she stops by the next day. And lo and behold, there's Joe there with a doctor. And he's like, "Oh, June's not feeling well." So Wanda goes to check in on June, and Joe's being really weird. It's like, "No, like you can't see her." Doctor's like, "Yeah, you can. Go ahead, go see her." So Wanda goes in, sees June, and June tells her, like, "Listen, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. The doctor says I was food poisoned, but I don't think that's the case. Can you stay with me?"
Yeah.
And Joe tries to kick Wanda out. And June is like, "Absolutely
Yeah.
not."
Hit the road, Loserville.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like, "No, I
why
want
are you
Wanda to stay."
here?
She goes, "You, Joe,
Yeah.
you leave. Get out of here.
You know what, Napoleon?
You
You
can
can
leave."
leave.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, June does not get better. By the next day, she's worse. She
Oh.
ends up in the hospital and slips into a coma. Not too long after that, she rapidly declines and she passes away. She died on June 5th. So, I mean, a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once she slipped in that coma, she never came out of it. And the doctors didn't know what it was, obviously, at the time.
Clearly.
But this is where I am. I got questions. She's in the hospital. They don't know how to treat her. Maybe they did figure it out at the end, but it was too late. There was nothing they could do. They don't tell us all the
Well, because
details.
the guy that knows the information doesn't decide to say anything.
Yeah, but they say within 4 hours of her passing, they go and arrest Joe.
Yes.
They charge him with first-degree murder,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So they clearly had to have known something before she died.
I thought I saw somewhere that the guy who gave the chemical, or
It doesn't say.
it doesn't say. Okay, I thought I read that somewhere, but maybe
But
that was a different murderous husband. Yeah.
anyways, so Joe requests psychiatric evaluation at Rochester State Mental Hospital,
Mm-hmm.
which okay, I guess in the 60s you can just request to say, "Hey, maybe I'm insane. Maybe you should check me out." And they just say,
Okie
"Okay."
dokie.
And so they send him
And
to
you
the
can
hospital.
request which hospital you would like to
Yeah,
go to.
sure, I guess. But not knowing, the authorities didn't realize that Joe had worked as a janitor there in the past. So on September 25th, 1967, Joe escaped from the hospital.
He gone.
Yep. So he gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. All right. We're not done here though. You guys think we're looking for Joe. We are looking for Joe. But
However,
Joe resurfaces. August 1973 in Dublin, Ireland. There's a burglary investigation.
a, oh, what?
A burglary.
Can you say with an Irish accent?
I cannot do an Irish accent, and it would be I would do that. I wouldn't do it justice, and it would be terrible. So I'm sorry. Can you do an Irish
I
accent?
have to like hear it first and then I can do it. Like, let's see. What does the Lucky Charms guy say? These kids are always after me, Lucky Charms. There's been a burglar around about these parts. Can you come down
It's,
down the way and check my? I don't know.
oh dear. All right.
That was not
No,
terrible.
it was way
Okay.
better it was better than what I could have done. So they're doing a burglary investigation, and that has led the police. They don't tell us how, but to a man named Michael O'Shea, and they ask him, "Hey, we just need dust for fingerprints." And
At
this
least
burglary
that's his house. He's the one. He's the idiot that called for the
it doesn't say
burglary.
that. It just says that there's a burglary investigation in the area, and so they talk to him, and they take fingerprints in his
From
place,
his house, because
and
that's
then they say, "Hey, can we take your fingerprints because so we can,
eliminate you.
eliminate you, right?" Well, he's an idiot. He gives them his fingerprints and they run his fingerprints with Interpol. Guess what? It matches Joe Maloney's fingerprints. He's wanted for murder
Mm-hmm.
in New York. But guess what? There's no extradition treaty between the US and Ireland. Really weird.
Well, there was some Ireland at this time, wasn't there? There was like a big.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
a
don't
lot
know. I don't know
about
their history.
Ireland's history, but I
But
did
there-
watch a TV show that was taking place during that time. And I know that there was tension
some
between
fighting.
them and the UK, I think, or England. And there was, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, no treaty. So he's kind of safe, right?
He's being held in prison at the time.
No, it's not. Not yet, because there's nothing they can do.
Okay.
This is 1973. 1984, Ireland passes an extradition treaty with the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So we get one. January 7th, 1985, the police arrest Joe.
Yep.
Like, all right, we now have an extradition
Come on, laddie.
treaty. So we're going to go pick
Scottish.
So they pick him up. And like, all right, this guy's been on the run 18 years. We're going to get him finally. So he's actually held for 14 months. But in 1986, the extradition treaty was voided due to some legal technicality. I didn't dive into this because it's not.
It's not relevant, but yeah.
It wasn't like it was negated because of Joe. It had nothing to do with Joe.
No.
Something was going on. So July 24th, 1986.
They have no choice. They got to let him go.
They have to let him go.
Yeah.
They release him, and he up and leaves. I did find out that the extradition treaty was figured out. They got it figured out in 1987, but by that time,
He's
he's gone. All right. So they show us the last photo of him, which was his arrest photo from 1967. They're looking for Joe. They want to get him,
Bring him back to the
bring him
state
back,
and
the
have him stand
States.
trial for the murder of his
his wife.
separated wife. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for your update?
And what is the update?
So I kind of have two updates.
Okay.
Technically unsolved.
Okay.
He was never found and never brought to justice.
Okay.
But there was a podcast, the Irish podcast. It is called, if you guys are interested, there's like 8 or 9 episodes. It's just called Runaway Joe. If you type in Runaway Joe into your Apple podcast, it'll pop up.
Okay.
I did it. I found it. So they dived
I
into
bet they
this
have
case.
great Irish accents.
I bet they do. I didn't listen to it. Actually, I listened to the intro.
Okay.
But
Irish accents?
I don't think it was very strong Irish accents. If they did, I would
Okay.
have remembered that. But so they dive into this case and they think they found him. Maybe we'll put the link. There's
Yeah, I'll drop the link down below in
there's
the
an
show notes.
article about
Okay.
it, and I did read the article.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but they think they found him. It's called Mystery Solved. Irish podcast uncovers fate of Rochester man. So they think they found his wife that he was living with, and that he died in 2005. They think that he fled Ireland after this whole treaty thing
Mhm.
and went to East Berlin. Then when the Berlin Wall fell, they fled to Cyprus
Okay.
because Cyprus doesn't have, I know, yes.
Isn't that crazy that I just found that today?
Yep.
You guys, I went thrifting today and inside of like a old bowling bag, I found a 500 mil Cyprus note from the Bank of Cyprus, which doesn't exist anymore because they've converted over to the pound. And so that's just what a coinky dink. But they believe that the man that they think was him and the woman he was married to over there in Berlin fled to
Yeah.
Cyprus.
His wife, supposedly named Sheila, said that he had died in 2005, but she would not say where he is buried.
Remember that story where the lady like had her husband living in the walls?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the mobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did he die and she like buried him in the backyard?
Yeah. Supposedly, according to her, he had Alzheimer's disease and he died, like I said, in 2005. Unfortunately, she then supposedly returned to Ireland in 2010. I'm going to guess that's how this podcast found out. They tracked her
Probably.
down, talked
Yeah.
to her. So they think they've solved it. Unfortunately, there's no way of
I
knowing.
mean, clearly he did this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not that is not in question.
Yeah.
And I guess there is no solving it because the man was never brought to justice. He never went through a trial. He never did his time for the crimes that he committed. He
Yeah.
got away with it. He got to run around
The world.
and
Yeah,
live
I
whatever
want to
life
go
he
live
wanted.
in Ireland and then Cyprus and Berlin and travel all over the place. That'd be nice.
Abandon his kids. I mean, he's just a horrible human being.
Loser.
And
Yeah.
I hope he finds no peace in this life or the next.
I bet he doesn't in the next one. Okay.
So,
Are you ready to talk about Jesus?
Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
I'm now at a loss. I don't even know what story.
Jesus means what?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay, sorry. Dude, here's a problem. I've now one ahead, and you know how I am. I don't
Yeah.
like doing at least two.
Yeah.
I got to stick with one. I got too many stories in
You
my
got
head.
too many stories
Too
in
many
your
stories.
head. Okay. So no, I'm gonna talk to you, and I'd heard about this before. Oh, aggressive slamming of the drink.
It was a setting
Calm
down. It was
down.
I don't want to hear it.
And your wrapper from your chocolate bar. Okay. So this is titled as The Unexplained, and it's The Shroud of Turin.
What?
Turin, Turin. Turin?
Turin?
Yeah, Turin.
Sure. I don't know.
Turn down for what? That
Wow, that's blasphemous.
it does feel a little blasphemous, but that is a great song, but that is not what we're talking about today. So the Shroud of Turin is one of the most famous Christian artifacts of the 20th century, believed to contain the face of Jesus Christ. It first turned up in France during the Renaissance period. And by 1578, the shroud was moved to Turin, Italy, where it has rarely been shown in public. Father Kim, oh gosh, I'm going to get this so messed up. Okay. Father Albert, aka Kim, and his last name is Derstitbach.
Could you say
Derstitbach. D-R-E, Dre is I-S, Batch, B-A-C-H, Junior. Sorry, I don't mean no disrespect to Father Kim, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. All right, he spent the majority of his career studying the shroud with intentions of actually declaring it a hoax. But now, several years later, the shroud still manages to mystify him. Had you seen the pictures and stuff of this before or ever heard of it?
I have. I've heard of this. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've not dived deep into it at all.
Well, at first, for some reason, I thought that the what's the big place in Rome, the Catholics?
The Vatican?
The Vatican. I thought the Vatican had it. That's not the case.
Yeah. I didn't know who had it.
Yeah. So the shroud was photographed for the first time in 1898, where negatives gave the best image of the hidden face on the cloth. I will post pictures of this, but if you haven't seen pictures of it, look it up. There's very clearly a face there. That is, no one's questioning that. The photographer's negative showed more than could be seen by the naked eye, and Dr. Robert Buckland, a forensic pathologist, has examined the life-size photograph negatives of the shroud and discovered a series of bloodstains around the forehead, high in the scalp, and along the posterior portion of the scalp. These are consistent with an application of a crown or a cap of thorns. In the chest area, there is a rather unique wound consistent with a puncture type wound that would have been made by an implement which entered the chest cavity and produced an outflowing of blood and water. There is, in the region of the left wrist, there's a puncture wound which clearly was made by some implement which passed through the tissue into the wrist and produced bleeding. All of these details are consistent with what we know, not only about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, but of historical crucifixions that took place during this time frame, all around the same time frame that Christ was crucified. Although most crucifixions had traditionally depicted nails driven through with the palms, modern research has confirmed that at the time of Jesus' death, nails were often driven through the victim's wrist. So, there is a quote, and I wrote it down. This is from the Father Kim. He said the Romans did enough of these sometimes, and I don't know you guys where you got these facts. I've never heard this before, but I haven't studied ancient Roman or Judaic or any sort of history like that. The Romans did enough of these, sometimes upwards of 500 crucifixions a day. Do you think that that is correct?
I don't know. If they're talking, I guess the Romans ruled a lot. Maybe
Yeah.
they're talking about from one end of their ruling to the other.
Yeah.
That seems,
It seems like an aggressive amount of
y-
crucifixions.
you know what? But this would not be the first time that Unsolved Mysteries. Remember, there was that prison break,
Yeah.
and they said that that prison had like 260 vehicles going through a day.
Yeah.
And when I did my research, it was like 20. And I was like, what in the
What?
world?
Yeah.
So this, I'm just saying,
I'm just saying
because
this
that could be right. I
this
have no
is a
idea.
quote. I'm just letting you
I have
know. I
no
have
idea.
not fact checked this. It seems like an aggressive amount of
I guess I'm not, but I'm
crucifixions.
not fact
Because
checking.
I thought crucifixions were specifically reserved for a certain type of criminal. But again, that's just kind of been my
I mean, technically,
understanding.
we know the day that Christ was crucified. Two
There was
others were
two others,
crucified
but
with
there's only
him.
three. There's not 43 or 433.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't fact check because here's the thing: I don't fact check everything Unsolved Mysteries tells us about
No. And especially when there's a
generalization.
priest telling this, I assume he probably knows
Oh,
more
it's
than
the
I do.
priest
It
that
was the
said it.
priest that was saying this. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
don't.
said sometimes 500 a day that would make them excellent optometrists, almost like unto a butcher. They would know where the bones were and they would put it in the wrist to help hold the body and hold it or held it well. Ugh, gross. He also adds that the shroud was made available to a number of scientists for the first time in 1978 who lifted particles from the shroud with adhesive tape. Then we get a biophysicist, John Heller, and a chemist, Alan Alder, who also determined that there was blood along the cloth, in the cloth, along with chemical evidence of severe torture consistent with crucifixion. Their findings, however, are not universally accepted. There are other scientists like Dr. Walter who claimed that the shroud is a forgery, the work of a highly skilled artist who painted with teeny tiny little brushstrokes. In recent times, other scientists have used computer technology to study the shroud. Optical specialist Kevin Moran, who actually I think did an entire big documentary about this, he's since passed away, but his computer analysis revealed that the image had unique optic qualities impossible to duplicate that confirmed the shroud's authenticity. Authenticity is how you pronounce that word, I'm pretty sure. In addition to his findings, believers claim that the absence of brushstrokes on the shroud proves that it's not a painting. However, skeptics have pointed out that even Leonardo da Vinci's brushstrokes were often invisible. And in an effort to resolve the controversy surrounding the shroud, the Vatican, oh, so I guess the Vatican does have it. See? Um, allowed samples to be cut from the outer edges back in 1988.
I'm surprised they let
I am
anyone
surprised
touch
too,
this thing.
because to me, to date, cutting a piece of cloth, here's the thing, regardless of this is a fake or a forgery or whatever, we know that this thing is several hundred years old. To cut a piece of it seems,
Technically, it's almost 1,000.
well, that's okay. That's the thing is, faith aside or not, that seems in itself blasphemous. Like, you do not damage this thing. To cut a piece of it away
If
seems
you see them,
crazy.
they're tiny, tiny little pieces.
Yeah.
But I am
I'm shocked,
shocked.
aghast, one might say. I clutched my pearls when they said that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sarah clutches her pearls a lot.
All the time. 3 universities are given a tiny little piece of linen for carbon dating. Dr. Paul at, where's he from?
University of Arizona.
Yeah, Wildcats,
Tucson,
Arizona, guys. Headed the carbon dating team in the United States. His findings were that the shroud's origins are likely from between 1290 and 1360 AD, which still, even if that's the case, this thing is crazy old.
Yeah. Did they say where the other 2 pieces went? They just said they went to universities, but
I
never
think there was
like which.
another one. The Vatican accepted the results of Paul's carbon dating test in Switzerland and England. All it said is it confirmed the same time frame of findings.
Okay.
Okay. The Vatican has refused to allow further testing, but did approve a major restoration of it. However, recent figures suggest that carbon dating could be flawed, that only a reweave was tested, because there is parts of the shroud that are very clearly like patches. Does that make sense?
I think they said in the beginning, when it first came to light, like the 1400s or whatever,
Yeah.
they when something happened, they would patch it together. They would
Yeah.
patch it up. They would fix it. They would whatever.
Yes.
Because I think at that time, they weren't putting it in glass cases and
Nope.
taking
Yeah.
super gentle care of it.
Yeah. And so there are people that are wondering if that's where the I don't know. That's just what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know if we have record of when things were patched or fixed, but
because they said the pieces were from like the very edges.
yeah.
Obviously.
In addition to that, a fire that occurred in the shroud's past may have altered the carbon signature because the smoke and all of that stuff would have left. Okay, fair questions. I don't know anything about carbon dating. I'm not a scientist, so I got nothing to add to that.
I can. How can I call them out if they're
Yeah.
right or wrong? I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing.
And it kind of ends on a little bit of a background, and I'll share it with you guys. The complete history of the Shroud of Turin is a bit convoluted, as would make sense since it's thousands of years old. But it is believed to have reached France from Constantinople, where it was known as Esden's cloth, and spirited to Europe during the Crusades. Now, that's what the Crusades, part of the Crusades was going out and retrieving these artifacts, the Holy Grail, the 10 Commandment plates, all of those things. It just makes me think of the coconuts from Monty Python. That's what they're trying to get the Holy Grail, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But there's a rabbit guarding the entranceway. 'Tis but a flesh wound. I love that movie. And so that's kind of where Unsolved Mysteries leaves us. It's just this.
Is it real?
Is it real?
Is it
a
not?
Forgery? If
What is it?
What is it? How do we have it? There is
And if it is real, then it's got the image of Christ.
Mm. And there is a lot of historic evidence that this has at least been cataloged as far as
It's
we
clearly been around a long time.
yes, and was preserved in some fashion, and it was part of religious ceremonies, it appears to have been, or at least kept under the roof of religious deities.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's it.
All right.
Okay, ready for your update?
Update.
All right. The Shroud's good gravy.
Authenticity.
Authenticity is still hotly debated. The supposed burial cloth of Jesus Christ, which I guess I didn't say what the shroud was. This is what they believe when Christ was crucified, he was laid in a tomb, and
He was
according to
wrapped in a
historical
shroud.
records, he was wrapped in like a cloth. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's got his image.
And that his
Big
image
top.
is somehow burned or imprinted in on it. Okay. It is still to date one of the most studied Christian relics. And even as of 2025, many people are still seeking information, research, and looking to find more about it. But nothing conclusive has come out either way.
Okay.
And that's kind of the update I have.
So
for you.
it's literally
We're in the same place.
boat. And what did this come out in 91?
Yeah. The only thing we know for sure is the way it got its name is Turin is there is documentation and writings of that. And that was just from my understanding, a little area of the Middle East just north of Jerusalem and Bethlehem. Like
Okay.
that's where it first originated from
Okay.
in the writing. So we know that it's at least that old. The theory and belief is that when the disciples dispersed after Jesus was crucified, we know historically they left the area, that one of them may have taken this with them and tried to hide it away. And that's where it ended up. And then it was found or located like 1,000 years or so after Christ's crucifixion. And then at that point was documented. So even if it is, I don't know, I don't like using the word forgery or fake because we have no documentation that someone was trying to say it was one thing or the other.
Yeah, no one.
It could have been a piece of religious artwork. I don't know. It feels weird to me saying that it was a forgery. I just think
It's not because it's not like someone was trying to profit off this or
Mhm.
trying to pass it as this and that. Like it was found.
Yeah.
And as time has gone on, people have come to the conclusion and the belief that this is.
And if you look at
what
it,
it
you
is.
can see a face. And it's not even like, oh, it's not like one of those
That's
ink.
not up for debate.
No, it's not like one of those ink blot tests where it's like, oh, I see a butterfly. Oh, I see
Yeah,
two cups.
very
Like
clear.
it's very clear. There's an entire body outline there.
Yeah.
And you see what appears to be bloodstains in the spots that we knew crucifixion would have been violent and bloody in those areas. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a beautiful piece of artwork at the worst, and I guess at the best, then we have some X-rayed image of what this, what Jesus Christ's face would have looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any thoughts on it?
No, I mean, I think I'd said to you as it was on, I saw it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. In
Yeah.
my opinion, right?
Yeah.
If it's real, that's awesome. It's
Yeah.
great. If it's not real, it doesn't. Here's the thing: if you believe in Jesus Christ, which I do,
Yeah. Well, we know Jesus Christ was a real person.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not up for debate that Jesus Christ
Yeah.
lived and was crucified.
Mm-hmm.
What is debate was he the son of God?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the debate in amongst different religions, Christianity and others. And
Yeah.
we're not even going to get into that debate.
Yeah.
So if it is it, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, it seeing a piece of cloth with him on it is probably not in no.
Maybe historically you feel like it's really cool to be seeing something that's survived that long, but it's not going to mean anything spiritually to you.
It's not going to change your faith. And
Yeah.
someone who believes, I don't need to see this piece of cloth to also then believe. Like I already believe that that happened
Mhm.
and all that. So, but here's the, like I'm not passionate about it one way or another. Like I'm not angry that people are saying, "Hey, look at this. This we think this belonged to Jesus Christ." Hey, that's great. I wish there was a way to know for, but it would not sway
Like
me
Joey
one way or
Tribbiani says, it's a moo point.
yeah.
Joey Tribbiani from
Boo
Friend,
point.
a moo point. It's just a moo point, like moo.
Yeah.
And they were like,
So
"You mean a moot point?" He's like,
I think it
"No,
was a
a moo point."
I think it was a cool story.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it was a cool story. Like I said to you when we were talking about this the other day, where science and religion intersect, I always find very fascinating. And the fact that the Vatican and different people from faith and different scientists have kind of worked together, which seemingly like in a harmonious way,
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
And here's the thing: at the end of the day, it is a historical thing because
Yeah, I think it's amazing that we have a
at
piece of something
at
from that
worst
time
at
period,
worst it's
a tapestry from that time. I
It's
don't know. Yeah.
700 years old,
Yeah.
800 years old, and yeah, it's a piece of cloth, a tapestry with something on it that
Yeah.
either it was emblazoned or someone created it,
Hmm.
which that is still a piece of history. So
Yeah.
it's great that we still have it,
I
you
get
know?
excited about finding things that are 50 years old. So if I found something that was that old, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ben. All right, you guys. Yeah. Trigger warning.
So
This is a very sad story.
yeah. All right. So we're gonna get told the story of Ethel Kidd. She was 61 years old. She lived in Burr Hill, Virginia, which is about 70 miles outside of Washington, D.C. Okay. But very different than D.C. It is a tiny little
It could not be
sleepy
more
town.
different than DC. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
At
tiny
least at
little
the time.
sleepy
Did you look it
town.
up today?
I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't look it up. Um, and Ethel and her husband, Gilbert, had bought a piece of land and started to build their retirement home out there. And this was their dream. I'm going to guess they lived in the city. They didn't exactly say where they lived. And they're building this home, and this is their dream. They're getting close to retirement, and their family, their kids and their grandkids live out there in Burr Hill. So this is their dream. So Ethel is obviously she's spending a lot of time out there, she's getting the house finished and that. And in 1989, the house is nearly complete. And April 12th, 1989, Ethel's in Burr Hill. She visits her daughter that morning, and who only lives a couple miles away. And then around 2 p.m., someone drives by, at least what they know, they're saying this is the last verified time that she was seen.
Yeah. The last verified sighting of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 p.m., she's getting her mail.
The
Well,
neighbor drives by or
and the
someone down the street.
reenactment,
Yeah.
she like has parked at the front of her driveway and is getting out and getting her mail.
Yeah. Waves to her
Waves
neighbor or
to her
whatever as
neighbor
they drive by. Hmm.
And they say they interview the lady that sees her. Right?
Yeah.
She says she didn't seem in distress. She seemed fine. She
There
waved.
wasn't anyone else around.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So the next morning at 7:30 a.m., Ethel's daughter calls, but she doesn't answer. So she was supposed to come. I guess
Have
she
a
was
cup
going
of coffee in
to
the
have a cup
morning
of
with her.
coffee with
Yeah.
her in the morning. Her daughter just assumes that she'd already left and was heading to her house to have that cup of coffee. Well, she doesn't show up at 9:30. Ethel's son-in-law, which is sad because he's the only one interviewed
Hmm.
in this. And I
Yeah.
just think it was because the family was so devastated.
Yeah.
Her husband
They
wasn't
seem to
interviewed.
be a very close knit family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because her husband was still alive at the time. And I
Hmm.
just think
It's too
I'm gonna it
much.
was too much. He
Yeah.
probably just didn't. I wouldn't want to talk about this either. I would not want to talk about it. He drives by at 9:30 a.m. and he sees her car at the house.
Hmm.
And now he's worried she hasn't shown up for 2 hours.
But her
Her
car's
car's there.
there.
So he stops. He's like,
I
you know
mean,
what? I'm
she is
gonna
an
check.
older woman. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let's
check on
check
my
on her.
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he says as he gets out, he's walking through the yard, and in the yard is an atlas map. And so He notices it, thinks that's weird. He picks it up
Mhm.
because he thinks maybe Ethel just it dropped out of her car
Yep.
as she be getting out. So he goes to take it to her, knocks on the door, and guess what? No one answers. And what are you laughing at? Are you laughing about your clock?
You guys, not to like change the subject, but again, I went thrifting today and I found a clock from like the early 1900s and it's a mantle clock. And it still had its key and its weight for the tick tock. And I spent like an hour oiling it. Here's the, I am no clock master. This it was workable, but it just needed a few things tweaked to it, and I did it. And I set it up in our living room,
And it dings every hour.
and you can hear
Yeah.
but it dings every hour, and then it dings every 50, a different chime every 15 minutes, marking the time.
It
And
dings.
it's just having phones and digital stuff like a
It's
microwave clock. We are not used to that sound, but I think everyone growing up had would they go to their grandparents' house,
yeah,
right? And
it's
you'd hear it.
awesome. I love it.
I love it too, but I have a feeling that in the middle of the night, it's going to really bother everyone that's living here because I
Probably.
think to everyone else that grew up with that, it was white noise to them.
Yeah.
But we hear it. So I don't, that just,
We won't hear it.
yeah,
We have
you
a
won't
fan.
hear it on here, but I heard it off in the
Honestly, we
distance.
won't hear it tonight because we sleep with a box fan on in
Yeah,
the room.
but
So.
that was, it just makes me smile whenever I hear it. Okay, sorry. Continue with your terrible story.
All right. So, like I said, Thomas, the son in law, he goes, like I said, he finds this map there, goes to her house. He notices the door's unlocked. And he says, right then and there, he knew something's wrong because Ethel always locked her doors, no matter what, even during the day. Walks into the house and it just looks like someone, like nothing happened. Just someone just walked out.
Yeah.
So, um, anyways, sorry, I'm trying to find my,
Spot in your notes.
yeah. All right. So he calls the police. The police start looking and they do an extensive search.
Yeah.
They show people out there with dogs, helicopters, all that. They search for days and nothing. Everything, the
It
woods.
literally looks like she just vanished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't find any clues of where she went. Nothing. There's no struggle. There's no nothing in the house.
No signs of distress
Stuff
other than the door being unlocked. Like that was
Yeah.
the only thing.
So here's
All
8
right.
days later, a hunter is out and it's only 3 miles from Ethel's home. And he finds a body.
Mhm.
And not just a body, but a body bound upright to a tree.
Yep.
It's like it's clear.
She's
It's clear
placed.
they used a dummy,
Yeah,
but the way it is, if that's how she was,
I think it was.
just
Yeah.
awful. And the police are baffled because
They searched
they
that
searched that
area
area
extensively. And
and
they
this-
said it's very visible.
they said it was 50 feet away from a logging road,
Yeah, the hunter saw it
facing-
immediately.
facing the logging road. So it has clearly was put there after they searched.
With
And-
intent to taunt and
Yeah.
be seen. They weren't hiding it.
And she had been strangled and sexually assaulted. Just terrible. But coroner had suggested that she had been dead for 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was no decomposition
Decomposition
on
Mhm.
her. So it appeared that she had been stored somewhere in a
She had been
controlled
preserved.
climate
Mhm.
and then brought back out and tied up there.
Yeah. What sicko?
Monster.
Yes.
Monster. So, yeah, they think she'd been stored in a freezer or a refrigeration truck. It's just
Terrible. Yeah.
the
I mean,
cord-
this is a nightmare story.
They did find out that the cord used to bind her was only found, it wasn't sold to the general public.
This is a crazy fact.
It was only found in hotels or hospitals. So they think, okay. And they found car upholstery fibers in her clothing. And so they're thinking, okay, maybe this is someone who travels a lot. So he stays in hotels and
Mhm.
uses that. All right. They did find a list so the atlas now has become a great clue. And they found a list in the atlas and just, it's really weird.
It looks very much of like remember what to do post murdering
Like choose
somebody.
location was one of the items on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And um item 2 listed clothing and accessories likely.
You know who else did stuff like this?
I have no idea.
BT killer or the BTK killer. He like made like lists
Oh
of
yeah.
trying to plan out his stuff like this. Yeah.
Like item 3 mentioned that get a new ID and a book called The Paper Trip, which I guess I don't know the book. I guess it explains how to obtain a new identity. List 5 was just abbreviated stuff. It was HCTP and SG, which the police were like maybe HC was handcuffs, TP was tape, SG was either surgical gloves or stun gun. They don't know. They're taking guesses. And so that was the stuff found in that atlas, which also with an atlas and cord from a hotel, they think this guy
Clearly, yeah, he's
travels a lot.
traveling. Yeah.
All right. So that's what they know. That's what they're looking for. Of course, they give us kind of what they think the profile is. White male in his 30s or 40s. Loner, travels a lot, stays in motels. Truck
Every other
driver,
serial
salesman.
killer, exact same
Yeah,
MO.
truck
Yeah.
driver, salesman. But at the end of the day, they don't have a suspect.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this guy's gone in the wind, right?
and he's a monster.
Yeah.
They just want to catch him before, obviously, it appears that, you know, if he does this to this lady, who else is in
Well,
danger?
yeah.
Obviously.
Likely this is not his first time offending in some way, shape, or form, and it likely won't be his last.
So, all right. Are you ready for your update?
Yes.
Solved.
I
Thank
mean, thank
goodness.
goodness.
Unfortunately, it took a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't due to
Unsolved
unsolved
mysteries.
mysteries. Well, it kind of was. So they, I was looking this up. So Keely Shea Smith, she gave an update. I don't know. It's hard to find exactly how they came about, but they
Okay.
did get a suspect. So they someone provided a tip that led them to the man of.
So, what they believe happened is that she might have been outside and that a man drove up looking for directions and like approached her with the atlas, right? So, for people that don't know what an atlas is, because we all have phones, uh, it was a book full of maps. And he's kind of in the backwoods. He pulled up, maybe got out of his car, approached her, and was acting as if, hey, I've got a question.
Hey, I'm lost.
I'm lost.
And obviously, you're in a tiny little podunk town.
Yeah.
Easy to
You
get
assume the best of everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
too. And that is how he acquired her.
Yeah. So the man that did this was named Edward Wayne Beverly.
Okay.
Okay. And a tip had come in by recognizing his handwriting. Right?
Oh,
And
interesting.
so they tracked him down. He did live in Burr Hill, but left shortly after Ethel's murder.
Which we've seen a time or two.
Yeah. And he was in a Tennessee prison. They tracked him to a Tennessee prison, and he was there in prison for an unrelated charge. I couldn't find what
Okay.
it was, but it wasn't murder. And he was about to be released. And this was in 1997. So it took a little while. He was months away from being released.
Okay.
So police are like, hold on, hold on. And as we know, he did terrible things. And they matched his fingerprints and his DNA.
Oh, dead to rights. Yep.
Got his DNA, brought him. So just before he was released, they brought him back to Virginia, and he was convicted of rape, abduction, and murder and given 3 life sentences. Died in 2008. Thank goodness.
Bye.
Thank
There's no
goodness.
way that that woman was his only victim.
No, I probably not. And terrible, but I'm glad he was caught.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he didn't. They found him in time before he got released out of the Tennessee prison and spent the rest of his life in prison.
Good.
So,
I can't imagine too that the inmates take too kindly for you being a grandma killer and assaulter. Like,
I don't know. It's just
what is wrong with people?
people, there's some terrible people.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Can we get to a
Let's lighten
better
this up a
story?
little bit, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. I've got a story about a man known as Tyler.
That's not his name.
It is his name.
No, it's not.
Well, as far as we know, it's his name.
No, it's not.
And
Are you gonna start with the caveat? Or are you gonna go?
no,
Sorry.
I'm going to tell the story like Unsolved Mystery tells us, and you let your biases sit there and be quiet for a minute.
I don't have biases.
Yeah. Ben, you get real
You say
heated
apple,
about things.
You say apple, I say orange.
On January 28th, so we're almost there, right? That's just in a few weeks. But in 1991, Ben and I would have been heading back to first grade after Christmas break. Yeah, 1991.
You're 6 years old. Yeah.
Yes. We went to school. It matched the years 91 first grade, 92 second grade, all the way up until we graduated.
I didn't know that.
You just now?
Yes.
How am I? But this is how a dyslexic mind works, right? I have to make things easier and I have to memorize them because I can't.
This can't be right.
Yes, it is right.
No.
1991.
January 1991? Is that what you said?
Oh, so we would have been in kindergarten. We went to first grade in 91, but it would have been in the fall of 91. Yeah. So Ben and I were on our way to kindergarten. But second grade, we would have been 92, the fall of 92, third grade, fall of 93, so on and so forth.
Never put that together. Ever.
I'm glad I got to teach you something, but that's how my mind works. It finds patterns and the simplest solutions where I don't have to do certain things.
Maybe I just try to forget all of that. So try to put
okay.
All right. Can we get
while
back
we
to
were going to kindergarten, there was a young man found wandering aimlessly through the desert 30 miles from Las Vegas, Nevada. He was dressed in 3 layers of clothing, carried no ID, and had apparently been in the desert for a minimum of 3 days.
Interesting.
He was rushed to the hospital suffering from exposure and extreme dehydration. The man woke up afraid and confused, and the reenactment is crazy. He had no idea what was going on. His diagnosis was psychogenic amnesia, a condition caused not by a physical injury, but by a traumatic emotional experience. While he quickly regained his physical health, his memory remained completely and totally blocked.
No, it didn't.
The hospital staff gave him the name Tyler and enrolled him in a state-funded program, which provided him a job and an apartment. And in the past 9 months, several, and I use the word that Robert Stacks used, tantalizing. Tantalizing seems to me like not the appropriate word for this. Tantalizing to me seems like a little sexy. But Robert Stack says several tantalizing clues have surfaced.
Do you think Robert Stack was trying to be sexy?
Yeah, was that his attempt at it? He's sexy no matter what. All he's got to do is put that trench coat on and stare at us with his smoky eyes.
He is such a stud.
He is a stud.
He's a stud.
Yeah. But Tyler is still a man without an identity and desperately hopes that someone can finally tell him who he is.
Can you just describe this kid?
He looks like
a serial killer. And not what I'm saying.
If you blended Jeffrey Dahmer with the guy from Dawson's Creek, the blonde kid from Dawson's Creek, that is who he looks like.
It really all it is the glasses. It was the 80 massive glasses.
Yeah, which if I could find a pair of those, I would wear them. But yeah, if you took Jeffrey Dahmer, and I wasn't allowed to watch Dawson's Creek. Thanks, Mom, for making me the loser in junior high. I can't remember the name.
We started watching that. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like a year and a half ago. It was on something.
Yeah.
I think we only got
3 episodes in.
Okay. But we're getting off track here. But seriously?
For the record, Ben's taking us off the track for people that leave snarky reviews about my ADHD.
But you brought up Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
Remember what happened in that show in the first season? Sierra and I only got what 5, 6 episodes.
No,
in.
there was just a girl who had like boys. Two boys were in love with her, and they were always fighting with each other. What happened?
That's not what I'm talking about.
What?
The other boy and the teacher.
Oh, that's.
And we wonder what happened in this world. That was on that show.
Yeah, that's
right.
so funny.
Get back to our story.
I will post a picture, but it looks like this weird blend of those two.
You are correct. I gave you that.
Okay. So authorities in Las Vegas are baffled because the problem is that they have no missing persons reports to match Tyler's description. There's no record of his fingerprints with the FBI, the Department of Defense, or the CIA.
Ooh,
However,
CIA.
doctors did find 2 clues. Evidence of hairline fractures in the knuckles of both of his hands, which tells us what, Ben?
To punch somebody or something.
He likes to fight. And what they believed was potentially a gunshot wound on his right thigh.
But healed.
Yeah. Other than that, it's as if he never existed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then another clue surfaces. During a conversation with a fellow patient from San Diego, California, Tyler gets an eerie feeling that he once lived there. But the recollections are vague and lack detail. So he decides to
go there.
No, he goes under the next best thing. If you can't go there.
Oh, the other thing we did in the 80s, we hypnotized people.
Yeah, so he goes under hypnosis. Previously, his memories had felt like words coming from his mouth, or like he was looking at them through like a piece of like, he described it as like looking at a piece of paper and like reading a script or something.
Do you think he was really hypnotized?
No, but I like the story you told about the hypnotized with the phone number. Remember?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying some people cannot be hypnotized.
Yeah. No, I think this guy's. We'll get into it, but no, I don't believe that he was being honest with his hypnot. I think he pretended to be hypnotized.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
you guys can
after hypnosis, the form of images come and actually feel more real and lifelike to him. So Tyler starts remembering the beaches and the things around them. He also remembers a lot about the military bases there, such as North Island Naval Air Force Station. He remembers that there's a Coast Guard Air Force or airfield and hangar across from some field, like all of these random facts that probably most people know about San Diego area. He also remembered that they had a gate that opened up to bring planes across Harbor Boulevard. He got a sense of belonging when he thought of San Diego. My personal opinion is he was just trying to get someone to be like, let's pay for you to move to San Diego.
Probably.
That's what it seemed like to me. And fair, I lived in San Diego for a year. We travel there as often as we can. I freaking love San Diego.
It's a beautiful city.
Yeah. Under hypnosis, Tyler also vividly recalls flying over San Diego. Okay, for international people who are never flown, flying into San Diego is insane. So the San Diego airport is smack dab in the middle of San Diego.
Smack.
It's insanely crazy. So you fly over and literally the plane has to fly over San Diego and drop into the city. Like you look out your window and there are buildings surrounding you. And if you go to Balboa Park, there's parts of the park that you can like lay down and the planes are so close because the park is right by the airport. It's a whole unique experience.
Why were you at Balboa Park laying down in the grass?
That's another story for a different podcast.
I'm just curious.
I was single in San Diego and you weren't around. I didn't even know you then.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you were living in Oregon. Actually, I think at the time you were living in Indiana. You were even farther away from me at that point. But it's not only that he remembers flying into San Diego. He is almost certain that he knew how to pilot an airplane. This
seems like a good idea.
I don't know who thought that this was a smart idea. They convince some poor schmuck at the local airfield to get behind The wheel of a plane.
It's not that bad.
I will say, I did do some additional reading. They were saying most instructors worth their salt. Because here's the thing, we're going to find out that Tyler flies the plane, takes over, and is able to land it somewhat successfully, as in they both survived. From my understanding, any decent instructor worth his salt can walk people through that.
Yeah, I mean, and being in that, the controls are on both sides.
Yes.
So if he's doing anything, he can just take over.
Yes. Ben has flown. You've never flown a plane, but
I've flown a helicopter.
Helicopter, yeah.
And that was the thing. Like the guy was like, all right, this is how you do this, blah, 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 blah. And he would literally say, all right, take it. And then
it's up to you. But he's there.
But you know what they didn't ever let me do?
Land
Land it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't landing this thing.
Yeah.
I tried I did try one time.
And you got freaked out?
Okay, I tried twice. Yeah, but I mean, when I was doing it, he was right there on the controls too, just in case, which I'm gonna guess that's what this instructor was doing too. He was right there. He's on the controls. If anything goes, boom, he can take it over. And do it.
So, but here's the thing. I have no flight experience. And if I just said to someone, yeah, I'm pretty sure I used to do this, if they put me behind the wheel of a plane. But that's the thing is, if you're a really good liar, you will take a lie literally to the point where it could kill you, because that's better than actually like acknowledging the truth. So I don't know.
Did say he landed the thing just fine.
They had it on video, you guys. Unsolved Mysteries. There was a cameraman there.
Yeah.
Because the guy was doing his own reenactments. This is insanity. We've entered cuckoo nut land. It reminds me of the guy from Catch Me If You Can, the con artist who made people believe. There's even a whole podcast about the guy that claimed he was a surgeon and worked for multiple hospitals, Dr. Death, throughout Texas. Guess what, guys? He didn't go to medical school.
That's shocking.
Yeah. So no, I'm not surprised that this guy. Anyways, I'm giving away the plot twist here.
Are you letting your biases show?
So even though he was accompanied by a flight instructor, he was actually he was given control of the plane and brought it in for landing. The instructor concluded that although it was quite rusty, Tyler likely had flown before. Okay. Fair. As time passed, more clues emerge. Although Tyler cannot remember his own name, incredibly, he can single-handedly dismantle and rebuild a sophisticated race car engine. Okay.
That seems like
He also possessed a highly developed skill in scuba diving. Now, again, he claims these things. No, there's no evidence that he did these things, because he claimed that he had highly skills in scuba diving, martial arts, and computer programming.
And does he have nunchuck skills?
And nunchuck skills? You guys, it's so bad. But to me, this is like any guy that is full of himself and lies, like on any dating profile or any of these psychopaths we meet today that are just narcissistic, crazy people. It's all the same thing, right? They have these
calling this guy a narcissist crazy person.
They have secret set of skills that only they know about. No, this guy just falls right along in the pattern of everything else. All right. Perhaps the most intriguing,
your biases here.
Intriguing thing of all of his information was the intimate knowledge of bombing mechanisms found in the Navy's A-6 attack planes.
You were a kid and probably just read a lot about.
Many clues suggest that Tyler likely had a military background, but weirdly, there's no record of him.
He didn't.
In the Navy or any other branch of service. He feels like this is a really difficult point in his life that people can't understand, because he's not allowed to move forward. He can't do anything. He's, he says that himself is almost like being an illegal immigrant. He has no ID, no form of social security number, which makes him ineligible for work. Maybe that's why he wanted to get to San Diego.
Did you see why he came on to Unsolved Mysteries?
Did you get what I said there? Because in California, you don't have to have any of those things. That was a joke. That was good.
It's true.
But there we go. Rim shot, so no one can take offense to it.
But why did he come on to Unsolved Mysteries?
Because he wants someone to tell him who he is.
Nope.
Why do you think?
They say it.
Okay.
That government program
Oh
that
yes.
gave
Okay. I
him the
haven't gotten.
job.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. Ben, don't give away the spoiler. All right. So he has no social security number, no date of birth, and he's hoping to find out who he is. Mainly because in September, his case took on extra urgency, as in the state funding, which had provided him a job and an apartment, was abruptly cut off from him.
Why do you think it was
And
abruptly cut
now
off?
solely relies on the kindness of strangers and friends to provide him food and shelter.
Because he can't
Because
get
he's a
job.
freeloader.
And he can't get a job at an apartment without an ID.
So now he's on Unsolved Mysteries, trying to get help.
Do you think he called Unsolved Mysteries or a friend of his called Unsolved
I think
Mysteries?
he did, because I think that narcissistic people will lie and lie and lie and lie
I think a friend called it in.
after getting asked multiple times for this guy to like crash on his couch
And
or
then
something.
when Unsolved Mysteries said, yeah, we're going to do the story, he felt like, now I got to roll with
Either
it.
that or someone was like, hey, dude, why don't you go on Unsolved Mysteries? And they were like, everyone else was like, yeah, that's a good idea. What is he going to say? No.
Yeah, maybe that too.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the other little piece of information, because we get the update in the story, but I'll give you.
So that's
the case first aired on October 2nd, 1991.
All right.
Okay. And that's the segment that would have left us.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for your update?
Yippers.
Solved. On the evening of the broadcast, Tyler gathered with friends to watch the segment. But before it even aired, in Las Vegas, a man from Boise, Idaho, called the telecenter to identify Tyler as his 23-year-old son, Arthur Paul Beal.
What's his name?
Arthur Paul Beal.
Okay.
And although he goes by his middle name, so Paul, the show immediately contacted Paul, and he learned, guys, and we all are watching, you guys, he is being recorded, being given this. Unsolved Mysteries calls him, and he's in this like house with all of his buddies, excited to watch his television debut, and the phone rings. Click, hello. And they are recording him getting this phone call from Unsolved Mysteries.
He looks super uncomfortable.
He's sweating, you guys, and it's October.
He was
sweating wet.
He is dripping.
Yeah, he's got
sweat.
beads of sweat coming down his nose, his face, his glasses are slipping. Okay. And they tell him that someone called in a tip. They have his name. And he also at that moment learns that he is married, has 2 children, is separated from his wife. He left her in February of 1990. And before being stricken with amnesia, he was living in Boise, Idaho. His mother, Lynn, and his wife both live in Iowa. A few moments later, a very sweaty and nervous Paul gets a call from his mother and stepfather, who he claims he could not remember. The phone call is videotaped and lasts for about 20 minutes. A short time later, Paul's case takes another twist that everyone could have seen coming, because I pegged this from the moment it happened. Because where is he located at? Vegas. People make terrible choices in and around Vegas. So, North Las Vegas police arrive to the house, and this is once again on videotape, you guys, and is arrested for grand larceny. He was wanted by the Boise Police Department in connection with a stolen shipment of frozen food.
Didn't quite see.
And I tried to look to see potentially, that to me just sounds like mob ties altogether, right? But I have no evidence that
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird.
The next night, Lynn, his mother, arrives from Iowa, posts bail for him, and
doesn't it seem weird that the mom came from Iowa and the dad who's in Boise, which
I've got updates on that.
I know. I did some research on this guy too.
Yeah. So their reunion is emotional and awkward.
Awkward.
Paul apparently or pretends to not recognize his own mother. She hoped to help him bring him back to his lost memories, and she was also happy that he was safe. And I think I won't take that away from this mom.
I feel
Her son
bad.
was missing.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah. And he's alive. That is what every mother wants when their child is all of a sudden missing, is to be found alive. The reunion was tempered not only by Paul's amnesia, but by the criminal case against him in Boise. He was a salesman for a food supply company, and on January 5th, 1991, he left for Las Vegas to sell a shipment of frozen food. He never returned to Boise and was reported missing, and on January 25th, resurfaced with an empty truck in Boulder City, Nevada, where he was questioned but not arrested by local police. Boulder City Detective Bob met Paul and describes him as intelligent, well-versed, educated, clean-cut, and very talkative, like most narcissists are. Lynn stated that while Paul had made mistakes in his past, this is his mother speaking again. She doesn't clarify what those quote unquote mistakes were. She did not believe that he would be involved with any crime of that caliber. When Paul left Boulder City, the detective there told him that Boise police would likely get an arrest warrant for him and told him that he should go back up there and try to straighten things out. Paul told him that he was going to go back up there and get things taken care of, the situation. This was previous to him because he was stopped in Boulder City, right? Questioned by this detective.
That's it. So he leaves January 5th,
Mhm.
Boise, with a truck full of food for this company.
Headed to Vegas.
Oh, that's where it's headed.
He was headed to Vegas to
Okay.
sell a shipment of this food.
So, I just want to make this timeline very
Yeah.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just goes off the grid
Yeah, disappears.
for 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows where he is. His company doesn't know where he is. The company know where him and their truck is.
Yep.
And all the food and the payment has not gone through
Mm-hmm.
for this.
Then is located
Then
in
he's
Boulder
picked up in
City
Boulder City.
with an empty truck.
But an arrest warrant is not issued yet because the Boise police don't know exactly what they got.
Happened? Yeah.
Picked
Well,
up
he's
in
missing.
Boulder
For all they know, he rolled down a hill or something. They don't.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? All of a sudden, this truck shows up and
Mhm.
he shows up just fine in Boulder City, Colorado.
Yep. No, Boulder City, Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the detective is interviewed on Unsolved Mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
And he pretty much says, yeah, I talked to this guy.
I told him to get up back up
And
to
I said,
Idaho
"Listen,
and get this straightened out.
So you're okay.
Yeah.
But now Boise PD and the company want to know what the heck happened. You need to go get this squared away. And that was on January 25th.
Mm-hmm.
What day did he roll himself out of the desert?
It was like 3 days later.
January 28th.
Yep.
And he supposedly was roaming the desert for 3
Mhm.
days,
Yep.
but just left a police station 3
Where he
days
knew he was going to get in trouble. And
for a felony.
for a felony. And no one knew where he had been for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you doing, my dude?
Spoiler, we still don't know.
And here's the thing. On January 25th, you were just fine
Mm-hmm.
talking all the talk to the Boulder City, Nevada
Yeah, but
police.
telling them also nothing, which a typical narcissist word salad.
All right. So he
Okay.
leaves that. Go forth.
So 3 days after Paul was detained and questioned, he's found wandering in the desert. The detective says that this raises an obvious disturbing question. Is Paul faking amnesia? He believes, yes, he is.
Yeah, he's very clear.
Stating that this would be a pretty easy thing to fake. He felt like it would be easy because all Paul would have to be is like, what's your name? I don't remember. Da-da-da. I don't know.
Yeah,
Da-da-da.
the answer is always, I don't know.
Yeah. However, his mother, of course, bless her heart, doesn't believe that he's faking it. And she believed that he wouldn't pretend to not recognize her. He would. In November 1991, Paul is returned to Boise, pleads guilty to a charge of petty theft, serves 90 days in jail, is also ordered to pay restitution, which I found out that his father paid. He didn't pay it. His criminal case was then closed. According to relatives and associates of his, in November 2007, he suffered a heart attack, leaving him in a minimally conscious state. Whether amnesia was genuine or fake has never been determined. So here's a few other sleuthing things I
I
found.
think I found these
There's a
same
couple.
things.
There's one major Reddit thread, and then there's 2 sitcom posts
I saw.
boards
I
about
read
this.
these.
So Bond was posted by his father only as request of his sister. His father also paid the restitution for the missing frozen seafood and damages to the vehicle. And then it says, according to the updates, that all charges at that point were then dropped. So he didn't have a criminal record. So I think he was serving jail time, was planning on pleading guilty. And then it was like, if you pay the restitution, the charges go away.
Yeah, I saw that as conflicting.
But after that, he never spoke to his father again because his father did not believe that he had amnesia. His father was very vocal about the fact, like, I'll help you get through this, but I don't buy your story.
Fair.
And so he took his father's money and then cut him off. Paul disowned his father because he didn't believe the amnesia story and had not seen or spoken to him since 1992. He created a new life and identity, and at the time was going by Tyler Beal. To this day, he had 2 additional children. He had 2 children and was going through a divorce at the time of his disappearance and never bothered to enforce the joint custody that was granted to him and only paid child support when it was garnished from him.
Yeah,
So
for the wife that he left in Iowa.
yeah. So it shows you what kind of man he was.
Yeah.
You don't pay, at bare minimum, you don't pay your child support until it's garnished from your wages.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you take money from your dad and then cut him off because he doesn't believe your
I read on
crock
one
and
of
bull
those
story.
I read on one of those forums. Supposedly, it was his ex-wife from Iowa.
Oh, I've got her update in here too.
Okay.
Okay. So then he moves to Northern California and became a bartender in Danville. He had 2 more children with his live-in girlfriend. And then in November.
So he divorced the second wife.
Yeah, the first wife has a live-in girlfriend.
Got it.
And then has 2 more children. 2007, he suffers a heart attack at age 39.
He was only 30.
39, yep. And sustained severe brain damage from the heart attack. And he's basically in a permanent
Wheelchair bound.
and not even like, I mean,
Fully
for lack
conscious.
of a better term, in many places said he was basically in a vegetated state.
It's terrible.
It is terrible. I wish that fate upon
I don't
nobody, unless you hung an old lady up on a tree. Like, that guy deserved that. This guy is not a good guy, but this is a terrible way to live your life.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm. And supposedly to this day, I could not find a death certificate for them. He lives in a long-term care facility and spends most of his days wheelchair bound, unable to do anything. Some people have nothing but bad luck. So his face was actually not blurred in the original one. Then when Lifetime bought the rights to Unsolved Mysteries for a while, blurred his face out because it was post-accident from my understanding, but FilmRise has unblurred his face again. So in case anyone has watched this and was confused.
It was confusing.
Yeah. So on a side note, he was missing for so long because in all honesty, no one was cared. Like, he didn't have a deep enough relationship with anyone to actually, he was never reported missing. The food truck was reported missing.
Well, and what I read is his dad and people in Boise didn't report him missing because they heard and knew that he was facing felony charges.
And assumed he was just dodging and trying to avoid arrest.
Yeah.
Paul, unfortunately, was very angry about the way that he was portrayed on Unsolved Mysteries. And that really, at the end of the day, the only 2 people that ever believed his story, or I guess there's 3, was his mother, stepfather, and his 2 sisters. No one else bought his story. And he kind of became the laughingstock and joke of everywhere he lived afterwards. Again, whether he had amnesia or not, no one has ever been able to say. And so this is the final thing I'll leave you with. This was, again, take this from a grain of salt, a woman on a message board claiming to be his ex.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Take it with.
I believe it's his second ex-girlfriend, but I couldn't know because she doesn't state.
Yeah, I mean.
So it says, "Oh, I am Steph, the ex-wife to Mr. Amnesia, aka Arthur Paul. There is a very good chance that he faked his amnesia because he made numerous mistakes after being, quote, found. But just like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, the world may never know. And I'm amazed that anyone even cares at this point. Also, I'm on a mobile, so I'm sorry if this comes out funky. None of this matters anymore. The guy has been stuck in a wheelchair for almost 10 years, but let me count the ways. One, I was contacted by Unsolved Mysteries the night it aired, and I gave them all of my contact information, including the fact that he had 2 small children. He never once inquired about his own kids. 2, he had 3 phone numbers given to him, one for his father in Idaho, who originally identified him, mine, and his mother. Instead of calling the guy that ID'd him or the woman who he was married to and had children with, he chose to call his mother, likely knowing that she would be the one who believed his story. 3, replay the, quote, reunion scene when he gets bailed out of jail, and you can see by his body language that he does recognize his mother, but holds himself stiff to act as if he doesn't. 4, when he went back to Boise to clear up the theft charges, he repeatedly made mistakes when interacting with his own father, which is why one of the reasons his father never believed him either. 5, people previously knew that he showed up at court hearing and he intentionally made eye contact and started to wave at people that he would have known, but then stopped himself and looked away and refused to ever look in some of our directions again. He chose to 5. He chose to stay west instead of reuniting with his entire family in the Midwest. His sister's mother and stepfather live in Iowa. His children were also there. A normal person who had lost their memory would have chosen likely to be around people that might spark a memory of his last several years of life. 6. He always swore that he never got any of his memories back. But one visit he made to see the children, he became excited about Taco John still being a business because that was his favorite place to eat in high school. 7, he made numerous mistakes every single time I spoke to him. And that's kind of where she left her.
I mean, obviously, there's no way to verify that was her, his true ex, because we know that people get on and just make stuff up.
Yeah.
But.
So there you go.
It's your amnesia story.
Yeah, I find I would actually love to actually get to speak to someone who clinically, I guess he was diagnosed with it, but again, this guy is full of this is crap.
Doctors can only diagnose you from what you show them, like what symptoms they see and interact with, right?
Especially for this week, because they were saying it was more of a psychosis form of it block. Than versus a brain injury, which we know if certain parts of your brain is affected, you will lapse in memory. I've had one incidence of quote unquote amnesia, and that was because the medication given to you previous to like my C-sections and surgeries cause amnesia.
Yeah, but that's a medically
exactly, it's medically induced. And it is a crazy, weird feeling to not have your memories there.
Yeah.
But again, yeah. So anyways, that is season 4, episode 3. It was a roller coaster. It was a doozy. Those are 4 hefty stories.
And and like they laid into the amnesia story.
Well, I got really excited at first that we were going to finally, because amnesia, it was such a thing back then.
Before the update, all of that.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a real story of amnesia?
The moment, because you and I watched this together, and I think I lasted till they said he was found outside of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think at that point I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if this guy was involved in something and he thought this is how he could get out of the mob? I think that was my original
Yeah. No, I wasn't buying it from the beginning, but I don't buy a lot of amnesia stories, period, in the story. But
yeah. And especially when they said that this was a psychosis form of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think, I mean, if you watch this segment within minutes, if not sooner, you can peg that it seems very disingenuous.
And that scene where he comes out and sees his mom is so awkward.
It's so awkward. And I will say, I was actually reading in other places that there's doctors that have come out and said people that actually have amnesia, if they're woken up or like kind of come to in the hospital, and they've suffered a head injury and they can't quite remember what has happened, there might be a little bit of like panic and freak out, but then the reality that you're in a hospital and you're safe and that you like come people's emotions kind of calm down very quickly. In the reenactment, and according to him, he like freaked out for like the longest time and refused to speak. They were saying like that is not how people react.
Well, I guess it, so go watch it. He walks out of the police station,
Yeah.
right? And his mom is there. And then
Mhm.
he walks forward and then just stands there stiff as a board and keeps his arms to his side while she goes and hugs
Hugs
him.
him.
And he
Yeah.
just like acts like
Like a Lego man, just like,
something terrible
yeah.
is about to happen to him, or he's so awkward.
It's very obvious that he's acting,
And I'm like, dude, you have amnesia,
supposedly.
supposedly. And you're being told, and from a good source, this is your mom. Would you not at least be happy enough to say, you're my mom? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so happy. I don't remember you, but
Mhm. You're right. He played it like he was acting, like you would say,
scared of some, but I'm like,
yeah.
you were just told.
No,
This
he
is
was
your
acting
mom.
as if someone said, act like you have amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Yeah. So it was a great episode. The whole amnesia thing is fascinating to me. So, okay. For everyone, that's our recap of our episode. If you don't enjoy the banter, I apologize because there was quite a bit of it in this episode.
Sorry.
Feel free to exit stage right for now. And for the rest of you guys who do enjoy our hangout sessions, Ben, are you ready for your question?
Yes.
What would you do if you woke up tomorrow with no memory of who you were?
I don't know.
Well, you'd roll over and be like, well,
Like, whoa,
hello.
whoever life I just dropped in, man, this guy's got it good.
Because I got my eye mask on. I've got a Korean skincare regime on.
Bonnet.
I've got my silk bonnet. Like, what is happening?
I mean, I don't know. What do you do?
I don't know. There is a
What
part of
would
me
you
that
do
is
if you
like,
woke up. And
okay,
you
if
had
I
no
woke up
idea?
in a bed, I would be terrified because I'd be like, what happened? But if I woke up in a hospital with no memory of like anything, I'd be devastated. But what would I do? I would try really hard to seek out who I was, spend time with people that supposedly I loved and loved me. I'd listen to my podcast. This is basically a journal of our life, anyways. I'd be like, okay, now I'm getting it. I don't know.
Be like, freedom, man. I'm out.
I'm out. That's what you did. Kids, wife.
What? No, I didn't agree to that.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
that was the other stranger. This is not me.
That's not me.
I didn't consent to
That's my
any of
second
that.
life.
That's your out. In 2 weeks, Ben's gonna claim he fell off a horse and has amnesia now and
I don't know. I don't know what's
living the
going on.
bachelor life.
I'm out of here.
Can you imagine dating again?
Absolutely. That would be the worst.
That would be the worst. We've got some single friends, and the stories that I hear from them, I'm like, I think I'd join a nunnery before I'd start dating again.
I just moved to the woods.
Just
That's probably what I would do. I just moved to the woods.
if you woke up with no memory, then yeah, you would say, I've got a special set of skills. Let me fly this helicopter.
No, I don't know.
I have a memory of living out in the Smoky Mountains,
Yeah.
maybe, and way out in Tennessee. Why don't you just put
no
me in a
one being
cabin out
around.
there and see if that jogs my memory?
My memory is of no one being around. No, probably the same as you. Like, okay, you're my wife, you're my kids, and let's spend time. Like, tell me who I am, and let's figure it out. I mean,
And you're just gonna be like, fine, I'll go along with it because
clearly, whoever I am, I got it pretty darn good. So I'm a happy man.
yeah, I'd wake up and be like, Hello. I'm so happy with everything. Look at my beautiful life. Look at my antique clock I found.
The only thing is, if you woke up and you said you have a podcast, I'd be like, no, I don't.
So if I woke up, you'd be like, you guys, listen, we're not going to, no one tells Sierra that she had a podcast.
Sierra wakes up with no memory. This podcast ends right then.
You guys are all on the same page. Okay. Everyone listening to this, you guys are
all this stuff. It's out of the house. She's going to be like, has no idea that this stuff
It's like, what is that movie Overboard where he finds the hot, like millionaire actress or whatever and like makes her into his like wife slave with all of his kids? Do you remember that movie Overboard?
No.
You've seen it. I know you have.
I don't remember it.
But she like falls over a boat and he was there like fixing her cabinets or something or her closet drawers. And she's like this terrible human being. And she falls over and hits her head and has no memory. So he kidnaps her basically in a very comical, funny way and takes her back to his house. And he's got like 6 ruthless boys who were like hellions and convinces her that she like loved this life of like complete wife and mother servitude and like made them clean that like, or made her like, he's like, you love cleaning the house. You love scrubbing toilets. You love making us meals. You love serving our every needs and convinces her that. Ben, if I wake up and have no memories, Ben convinces me that I like sports and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
We go to baseball games all the time.
Yeah. And I'm obsessed with, that's all I want to spend all my time and money on is just sports. What else would you?
Shooting.
All of the good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind going to these things with you, but yeah, you would just.
I would tell you, you hate true crime. You hate true crime.
You start whispering that in my ear all the time. You're like, listen, don't even turn Dateline on. Forensics Files, you hated that stuff. It made you so uncomfortable.
The show you hated the most? Unsolved Mystery.
Okay, all my podcast girlies out there, Holly and like Kylie and everyone, Jules, all of that, you guys will have my backup plan. Those are some of my podcast women out there. They'll have my back. So, all right, guys. Well, we've talked for quite a while. There's our New Year's gift to you.
Gonna have to cut some of this.
All right, we'll be back next week when Ben and I recap another episode of
Unsolved Mysteries.
Bye.